Broadcasting live from the worldwide leader in COVID cases, contested election results, and hotbed of support for a tantrum-throwing, aspiring despot Cheeto-in-Chief, a.k.a. George Orwell's wet dream, a.k.a. District 10. This is the Disinformed podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm John.
I'm Michael.
I'm Courtney.
And
that's all I have for you.
am disgusted to be an American.
You can't make this shit up. Anything I could have tried to throw together as a lie this evening would have fallen far short.
Second time.
I'm going to make custom intro music to go over Shane's, opening. Or it'll probably still be going right now, like old school.
You're not doing anything to my opening without my consent. I was going to say that up front.
Wait, I need consent after all these years?
Yes.
Always need consent.
I really need to reevaluate what I do to Becky.
Big oof.
No, you don't. She accepted the ring. That's basically a written permission slip
Becky,
from this point forward.
If you ever listen to this after a tragic accident happens to me, I love you.
If your life isn't a tragic accident enough for you.
No, she's good. She's good. I'm the tragic accident to her.
You're making a podcast with me after being in a band with me for years.
Yeah, it's fair.
And you still haven't defined that as tragic accident.
Well,
it's our next release.
Yeah, so back to the point here. Are we supposed, now that I'm Ben Shapiroing,
please.
Are we supposed to be proud to be Americans right now? Are we supposed to be proud? And if we were to be proud, would my wife supposed to be what again?
Was it ever?
No.
No,
yeah,
no.
I'm disgusted. I think if you are proud to be an American at this point, you are just as silly as Michael seeing Rob Schneider at Tempe Improv.
Yeah.
Which, Courtney.
Yes.
Oh.
Do you speak Spanish?
No.
Do you want to try?
No.
Can learn today.
Here, hold on. Let's see if you know what this means. Just context clues.
Michael tiene una polla de queso.
Any guesses?
Something cheese and chicken?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Michael has a cheese dick.
Why were you going to take a sip after that? You knew he was setting you up for something.
For those of you who are not gifted with the visual medium right now, that almost caused a massive spit take, and John's known for that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But just in a different context.
I like making the Google Translate lady say mean things about Michael in a different language.
Get it out of me, I'm going to throw up.
My goodness.
This will have payback.
For what? What did I do?
You gave Siri an Irish accent and had her say that.
My favorite thing still is Jonah's reaction.
I was going to say, which for Michael means, get it out of me, I'm going to throw up.
Get it out of me.
You want me to go deeper? Okay.
I'll go
that
deeper.
voice
Out
so
of me,
much.
I'm going to throw up.
You want me to go deeper?
Yeah, I do have
Okay.
permission if you want to show that on After Dark, Jonah's reaction.
I would love to. That is a brilliant idea.
It's very
All about
wholesome. I enjoy
He
I can
said
pull it up.
He'll only sue Michael for content, but the rest of us are good.
That's
Okay.
good. It's really interesting because last night Shane and I did the Damn Jams for this month, and it always... This is related tangentially to what you're talking about as far as coming after people. It amazes me how quickly YouTube will copyright strike something. I think the moment that Shane even had an edit, like not even published, but just unlisted, I got an email immediately that we were blocked in three countries, which is amazing.
Yep. YouTube is very serious about those strikes.
But yet they'll let is it a Trumper? Is it Covidiot? Both? But they don't pull those videos. You know, they let
It's
them-
a Republican, I believe.
Oh,
is,
Ooh, I like
Republican.
that better.
Yes.
Yes.
My goodness.
Yeah. Well, that was supercharged to start the show.
Yeah, I figure we just want to get it out of the way, and then we will leave it alone for the rest of the day. Cause,
If we can.
There's no explanation that I can conceivably proffer at this point for the state of mind that people are existing in.
It's nuts. I mean, go Georgia, though.
Yeah, that I was gonna say.
Indeed.
As of
Georgia.
recording, it's all good.
Georgia.
Not why Georgia, why, but hooray, Georgia, hooray.
Yeah. And they took
that's
a
lyric,
lot
right?
shorter time to process their results because it took 10 days to do that for the
Well, that's
actual
because they're
election.
making them up, Michael.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. They
Turns
had to.
out you can force anything through and you're making the numbers up.
It's easier to find these votes when they're smaller ballots.
Indeed. I was checking your, looking at your Parler account earlier today, and I
Yeah,
saw
how
that
is your Parler
conspiracy.
account going?
Well, half the people are now saying they're expressing disgust because I actually subscribed to was it Insane Parlor subreddit on Reddit, and people are it's tearing themselves apart, and there are people actually seeking safe spaces to within there to talk about how crazy these riots are. So it's
how deep does the
interesting.
snowflake rabbit hole go? But they need to find a safe space within their safe space.
Yeah, because they're afraid that they'll get kicked because that happens when you express an opinion that is different from everyone else's in a place that is supposed to be for freedom of expression.
Indeed, insofar as you will have someone who immediately turns on anybody who has anything to say that is contrarian to what their message is. Can't believe it. Who knows? It's like being in a band in Arizona with a couple of, like drug addicts. It's just the moment there's any sort of dissenting opinion, you just turn on each other like velociraptors in a cage and start ripping entrails and just throwing it everywhere.
I thought you just learned how to rollerblade.
No, because even the people who've learned how to rollerblade don't know how to rollerblade. And technically, she's roller skating, John. She has got like the 1970s style roller skate.
I'm so sorry. That was really ignorant of me.
Yes, you misspoke.
You should feel bad.
I did.
John's
I
out
do
here
feel bad.
appropriating roller skate culture,
I'm not trying to gatekeep. That's not my job. I
mansplaining.
just find it weird that women are on wheels. That's it.
Have you not been to Sonic recently, my friend?
Behind the wheel, on top of wheels,
not-
it just they don't.
I'm not allowed
mix.
to actually go to Sonic anymore.
Is that a lazy Susan, by the way?
Who's a lazy
Are you
Susan?
just happy to see
If it's
me?
a woman on wheels?
Let me see.
Man,
I
my
think...
dad jokes are requiring
I love it.
explanation now. I quit.
Did I do it? Fuck. I thought I screenshotted something of... Oh, I did. I'm going to put Courtney on blast.
Oh,
Because
God.
I like being your Twitter friend.
Oh, thanks.
Okay. The new year is a time to turn over a new leaf. Forgive old grudges and start fresh, but I will never forgive you for taking away my spicy potato tacos, Taco Bell. Dishonor on you, dishonor on your Baja Blast, dishonor on your nacho fries, which I truly love, but I'm still mad. Hear me out. Soft taco tortilla, chipotle sauce, lettuce, cheese, and nacho fries. Meet me halfway. You don't have to have a second potato item, and I don't have to live without my favorite Taco Bell item. Everybody wins. And then, let's see here.
There's an argument to be made that, you just buy a couple tortillas or make a couple tortillas and then just purchase the nacho fries and self-assemble.
Why are you making it complicated, Shane?
I complicate everything. This has been known for years.
It is known.
Indeed.
But yeah, I just, I'm glad that you're on our team a little bit here. I know we already enacted one thing. We rallied millions of people. Peacefully, I might add.
I mean, we are Irishmen, most of us here. So I mean,
we fucked
should
with potatoes
be
tough.
We should be rallying to save the potato as much as we did the Mexican pizza.
If not more so.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, actually,
I'm a little disappointed in us.
We took our gerbs.
No, we took our taters, I believe. Precious.
Oh, well, all of my haters can eat my tater.
I'm a hater and eat my tater.
I think that's insensitive.
Yes, it is. She doesn't have feelings. It's fine.
Oh, she's a
Because
robot.
she's not dead.
Oh, okay.
She's still going to stick to the ticks on the talks.
Oh, goodness. Well, outside of just one of the grossest days, which, mind you, is only, 6 days into 21?
No, this is
as of
2020
this
season
recording.
2, man. 2020
Yeah, it's
season
part
2.
2.
Well, we've talked about this previously, that years don't necessarily end when the calendar year. It's kind of like where we talked
People don't
about
understand that.
decades rolling over. So technically the mid 90s is still the late 80s for the
Yes.
most part.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're just still transitioning ourselves.
If this is a transition, I don't want to see the end product.
Mm-hmm.
There is a joke to be made that I'm not qualified to make at this current point. But yeah, outside of the horrendous day and the events of today, how's everyone else holding up? Like
There's not
happening?
a response for that is appropriate at all.
Cool.
No.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
I don't think
I
you can
woke
dovetail.
up, I got coffee. It was a beautiful morning.
Thanks,
I
Michael.
lost 3 hours of work on my research because my system crashed. You know, what else do you want? I played a lot of Breath of the Wild. There you go.
That's right. You are on a Breath of the Wild kick, which is nice because that game's amazing. And now you've made me want to replay it, but I don't trust myself to start it again because I'll just fall into a rabbit hole.
Did you hear that there are leaks that may or may not be false about Breath of the Wild 2 coming out sometime this year?
No.
Well, there you go.
That was an interesting conversation. Do you want to have it again?
Nope.
I've cooked with leeks before.
Yes.
Very tasty.
Mm-hmm. And how?
So, do we want to just hate fuck the world for an episode, or do we want to like?
Oh no!
I mean, Michael has a
got
topic
something.
that he claims he's willing to proffer, and so we'll just have to take it on faith.
What do you think is interesting today, Michael?
I mean, before we start, do you want me to give the standard operating preamble here, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
Go for it. Jump
Okay,
into it.
all right. Well, for the uninitiated amongst you who have staggered into this simple little podcast for your first foray, my sincerest apologies. But what we would typically do here is we dive into a random esoteric topic, and in the midst of explaining it, we will leaven in the occasional lie, just to keep things interesting, because that is the whole point of the show. The co-hosts then have to try to ferret out the lies from their little hiding spots, call them out, and scream posse, interloper, or stop the steal, and then we...
Rabbit fucker.
We realize that much like anyone else who lives in the United States right now, there can be no winners. The points do not matter. And we're all going to, as the tagline for Alien vs. Predator once said, no matter who wins, we lose. So take it away, Michael. What are we chatting about today?
So, I want to talk about, because John loves throwing in quantum, the word quantum, into everything.
Do you know what that word even means?
Today we're going to kind of learn about it. We're going to tag on quantum to another thing that has nothing to do with physics. We're going to learn about quantum mysticism.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
From the expression on Courtney's face, I'm realizing that she has never had to sit through one of your science lectures
It's not...
in real time. So it'll be nice to see someone else kill themselves
My
on
goodness.
live recording.
I think I left my razor blades in the other room. Can we pause for a minute?
I
Sure.
mean, you don't have to listen to my preamble where I explain, the definitions. This is going to be a 2.5 hour long episode. I got to
Trigger
start
warning
with,
for shaving accidents.
actually, sorry, as an aside, I finished a series on Hulu the other day because one of the episodes had a trigger warning about that. Have either
Razors?
any of you heard of the show Monsterland?
No.
Nope.
It's an anthology that's kind of, I would almost say it's like Black Mirror, like
okay,
the
but it's
earlier
about living in
episodes.
the United States.
Yes, it's not being British.
Okay.
So it's not the latter seasons of Black Mirror.
I have heard of it. It came out early or late last year or middle last year?
Yes, there is one episode that is really, really good. So they kind of look at social issues under the guise of it being like supernatural. And one of them actually talked a lot about QAnon or kind of conspiracy movements, but it didn't mention it at all. It was like the perfect setup to where you weren't really sure what they were talking about until like halfway through, and the realization just clicks. Okay. And it was fantastic. It's a very, very like in-depth, like thinky, sort of not really feely, like, logic, not caring about your feelings show.
I feel like that was me when I first watched Black Mirror. Like, where I was like, and people warned me properly. They're like, yeah, it's probably not something to watch if you're not in a good headspace, because it's nothing good happens kind of a show. And it's cerebral, like it fucks with you.
It's very cerebral, yes.
I binged 2.5 seasons and then had one of the most severe depressive episodes I think I've ever had. So I'm not really, but now that 2020 has happened, I feel like I can go back because now it's just going to be silly fiction again to me.
It's not. Oh yeah, that's a fair point. Actually, it's not even like, oh, this could be the future. It's like, nah, that's nah. It's not as future depressing.
Well, no, it's going to happen. Now I know that all those things, if they happened, they would go just as it goes down in the show.
Yeah. It's not as future depressing. It's more like current day depressing. So it's like if Black Mirror talks about the future, Monsterland talks about the present. And
sounds like you're surrounded by things that uplift you.
Yes. I just love being constantly let down and depressed. So I take that out on the media that I consume.
And that's why he's
here.
That's why I
just look in a mirror every morning. Oh, yeah. I went inward. Courtney went outward.
That's how I start my morning. I look at the the listenership numbers for the previous day, and that just puts me right on the right track for a full day of success.
10 million strong.
Yeah. If only.
Your employer decisions also make a lot more sense to me now as well.
Both of them.
You haven't fucked me well enough to give me that pizza.
Well, exactly. Both of my employers. Speaking of, sorry. Yeah. No, go for it. You were gonna try and force me into. Okay. So this topic started out. Speaking of one of my employers, so this topic started out innocently enough. Where I was starting strong with that, I didn't pronounce innocently. This product
Luckily,
started
this
out
beer is
enough.
not high in alcohol because I feel like I'm going to be drinking a lot.
I was doing some reading on a physicist. No, I'm not doing that anymore.
Holy fuck! You are closely becoming the second worst thing that happened today.
Oh my!
Well, that's been the Disinformed podcast.
Ooh! I was doing some reading on a physicist whose research is incredibly important to my own. When I saw another name that is a callback all the way back to episode 15, the Stargate Project episode.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I learned about this physicist named Brian Josephson, who, I don't know why I gave a little bit of bio. He did a lot of stuff, quantum computers. That's all you need to know. After getting his PhD when he was 24, which I did feel a twinge of jealousy there, he spent his later years getting into the mind-body problem, which is a debate concerning the relationship between thought and consciousness in the mind and the brain in the human body.
Insane in
the membrane.
Brain.
Yes. Insane in the brain. Essentially, how can we explain consciousness as being separate from the brain in our heads? I won't go into detail here because nobody wants that. But just know that this debate, I know my audience now. I understand better. This debate has been a big deal among philosophers and goes back to historical people like the Buddha. I don't know why I capitalized the. He is the Buddha. Plato and Aristotle. Brian Josephson. Sorry.
To digress momentarily,
yes.
Because you're not.
I'm not giving any. Yes.
The tract here. How many lies?
Oh my goodness. There are 3. Wow.
Okay.
I just got I got so excited.
You just jumped right in.
Yeah.
I thought this was like preamble and you trying to like tell us why this was going to be interesting.
No.
He went right in.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
And I'm wearing an Ubik shirt today.
Bless you.
And so if we're going to talk about the separation of consciousness, how dare you say that it's your audience?
Well, I just assume that nobody cares what I have to say, so this is more like a contractual obligation.
Why did you start this podcast?
No, I'm talking about you 3.
Why?
Because I want to shout to the ether.
Sometimes when you scream at the void screams back, my friend.
And that's you and John and Courtney.
The void screaming back. You are absolutely correct.
And also, by the way, since we've apparently not stood on ceremony at all, welcome to Courtney as our new semi-official co-host.
I mean, you run the socials now.
We're waiting for her to quit yet, so.
Yeah, I actually won't be here next week.
I mean, we said this once, we'll say it again. That's the beautiful part of your involvement is that you literally can just be like, no, fuck Michael this week.
We've established that will never happen, John. She said it on the record.
That's true.
Well, you
no
fuck now, son.
Michael fucking at all.
No.
Well, that is known.
That's where we draw the line.
I wouldn't even fuck me.
Hey, Michael, can you go deeper?
I can go deeper if you want me to.
Oh, can you put a Scottish accent on too?
I can go deeper if you want me to.
You're doing terrific.
Ugh.
Oh. Oh, gee, my name's Michael, doing an impression of a Scottish woman.
I'm a Scottish man named Michael Clark. Oh, geez.
I like you were trying to go for groundskeeper Willie there as well. So thank you. I appreciate that. All right, back to the regularly scheduled programming.
So Brian Josephson was one of the few scientists, according to Wikipedia, to argue that parapsychological phenomena, so telepathy, psychokinesis, and other similar
Astral projection.
Yes, similar-esque themes may
Eating
be
a
real.
cheese sandwich when you're blackout drunk.
I am a cheese sandwich.
I don't think you're supposed to say that anymore, John.
Sorry.
In 1971, he began practicing transcendental meditation, which the Beach Boys had been practicing at the time because...
That's a lie.
Yeah, okay, you're right. It was the Beatles. They were the ones that were practicing transcendental meditation.
I would have
I mean,
called
the
the
Beach-
lie either way, but
The Beach Boys were still, taking drugs. Let's not get confused.
But they didn't have the whole going off to India and learning all these sort of Eastern, playing the sitar.
No, yeah, Brian Wilson just imagined himself floating above his own body for half of a year.
Yeah. So, in 1976, Josephson traveled to California, where he met none other than Harold Puthoff.
Puthoff.
Yes, one of the key players in the Stargate project.
Mm-hmm.
I'll also mention here that Josephson also supports the idea of water memory from the homeopathy episode.
the water remembers.
Yes, because all episodes connect in some way, which was just fascinating to me. Let's see here. By 1996, he had set up the Mind-Matter Unification Project at the Cavendish Laboratory in England, which explores the idea of intelligence in nature, the relationship between quantum mechanics and consciousness, and one last thing is the subject for today's episode, the synthesis of science and Eastern mysticism, broadly known as quantum mysticism.
So let's pretend for a second that I was paying closer attention and that made more sense.
Essentially, this physicist was like, what if quantum mechanics...
No. Don't give him the out on that.
Okay.
No,
All right,
don't let
fine,
him
fine.
Dewan this podcast and act like, he's being responsible because he didn't tell his wife to stay the fuck out of the room.
Oh, no, I'm literally I wasn't being facetious. I was trying to get caught up.
No. I'm not letting you off on that.
Well, I caught one lie, so that gives me one handicap.
And he wasn't even
No,
paying
you are
attention.
handicapped. We know that.
Well, I married a therapist. So.
So I got a request to be the one that empathizes with Michael. So for this one time,
Why?
Michael, you did a great job reading that paragraph. So good.
Wow.
I don't need your condescension. I caught myself. I almost said condensation because I always say that.
Listen, bitch, I don't need your condoms.
I don't need your condensation. Don't rain on me.
Don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining.
Exactly. So, next section is that looks like a cool concept. Mind if I take it? Because I just love naming these things for stupid reasons.
I'm out of drinks already, Michael, so you're going to need to give me a minute.
Sorry, I was heated like an hour ago because of the whole outside world, and I didn't really cool off by that time, so... And I couldn't take out my frustration because I had to eat a sandwich.
Deep breath.
You know what will help? If you read faster.
Let me learn you something about quantum mechanics.
Transcendental meditation right now, chapter 1.
And speed read.
I'm kidding. I'm not going to teach you guys anything. I'm going to talk in analogies so that I don't need to actually define anything and everybody's happy. You
luck.
guys... Huh? It's a bluff?
I'm Michael.
Stop the squeal. Stop the squeal.
You guys know about Schrodinger's cat, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
its name is Frank. It lives at John's house.
The scrotum
Yes.
cat?
Yeah. You got a cat in a box with a radioactive element that when it decays, the device will poison the cat.
Bullshit.
That is Schrodinger's cat in a nutshell.
Bullshit.
I didn't remember radioactive. I just thought it was a cat in a box.
Well,
I thought it was a cat in the trunk of a car.
I am the cat in the box.
dick in the box?
No, I am. It really involves a radioactive isotope with a cat.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, I guess I just never knew that.
Yeah, because the whole idea is the radioactive element, it decays, because that's the whole idea with radioactivity. Is when the element decays, it releases energy, and I bumped my mic. I'm awesome. I'll bump myself later. Anyway, the radioactive element sets off a Geiger counter, which measures radioactivity. And if it measures radioactivity, it will break open a poison vial and kill the cat. That's actually like the actual thought experiment. It's a very complicated setup to kind of explain quantum mechanics doesn't make sense in real life.
I can see why they simplify it to just you can't tell if the cat's alive or dead in the box.
Yes. So,
yeah. All right.
Speaking of, the question is, how do we know whether it's alive or dead? Is it enough to simply open the box? So akin to measuring with the device, like using a measuring stick or meter stick or whatever. Or do we need someone with a brain, so someone that actually is conscious, to look in? Would the cat still be alive and dead if we got a robot to open the box? Since robots aren't conscious and they don't have feelings, like Johnny Five. Well, there is an interpretation of quantum mechanics, the von Neumann-Wigner interpretation, that postulates, of course I say Wigner right, and then I say postulates wrong, that postulates that consciousness is necessary for quantum measurement. So that you actually need someone with an actual, that's conscious, that's sentient to measure.
So essentially the argument is that you have to be a person in order for the cat to matter. But if you are a robot or if you are AI, it wouldn't matter.
Yeah. The idea is that if you get a robot to measure the cat, it doesn't
Count.
matter.
Just like the election.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Stop the cat? I don't know. So it is an interesting interpretation, but you can probably see how an idea like that, how your consciousness is required to measure quantum mechanical systems, might be misinterpreted, which is kind of where I'll be leading into.
So does that mean robots can't understand that concept then?
Well, they don't have feelings. So
right.
Yeah. Hell, even one of the namesakes behind the interpretation, Eugene Wigner, later grew to be embarrassed by that interpretation, as he saw that it could lead to a kind of solipsism, which I think I pronounced correctly.
What is that?
Solipsism. Ah, darn it. The idea known as I am, therefore I think. The fact that you exist means that you are conscious.
Invert.
Shane.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was what?
I think, therefore I am. He flipped it.
I was hoping that you guys weren't paying...
Piss poor lie, my friend.
Yeah, it wasn't a good one. I was more interested in actually like learning about how these people think than
I don't
writing
blame
good
you.
lies. Yeah, you're right. It's the idea that only your mind is sure to exist, and you got it correctly. By René Descartes, because I know how to pronounce his French name, because it looks like Descartes.
Descartes.
Exactly.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno.
It's a Caleb Descartes.
A portmanteau, if you
Dakota.
That just reminds me of there's a town in Kentucky called Versailles, and it's spelled like Versailles, and it gets me every time.
They're Southern.
Ooh-wee.
What you gonna do?
In the early 1970s, New Age culture began to incorporate ideas from quantum physics, beginning with books by people who I don't care to name, which suggested that the parapsychological phenomena I mentioned above could be explained by quantum mechanics. This... Exactly. So New Age, like almost hippie stuff, but kind of that similar vein. I don't want to try and...
Like blood magic?
Overgeneralize. Sure, why not?
Nganga.
Yeah. What?
Oh, sorry. Her saying blood magic, it reminds me of the last pod series that I'm on right now. They're covering Palo Mayombe. So an nganga is where you put your ritual materials, like including blood, and like the better your nganga, the more sacrificial leftovers are coated, kind of like a cat, like, you know, when you season a cast iron, you know, like, but in a nganga. So
I understood the cast iron. Around this time, the fundamental physics group, which is spelled with an F and not a PH, and a K instead of a C, so physics, a group emerged, a group of physicists originally from University of California, Berkeley, who embraced quantum mysticism while engaging in all the stuff that I talked about earlier. It was actually that group who invited Brian Josephson from earlier in the episode to California, where he met Harold Puthoff.
Bless you.
And just when you think we're done with coincidences, in 1972, the CIA and the DIA set up a research program jokingly called espionage, which financed...
Is that real?
That is real. Which financed experiments into remote viewing at the Stanford Research Institute, close to where the fundamental physics group called their home. Yes. Now that we've gotten all the boring stuff out of the way, because I know that's what you guys wanted. Okay.
Please.
Let's talk about what quantum mystics believe about quantum mysticism. Well, the first results I came across actually expanded on multiple famous physicists' interpretations of quantum mechanics that have varying levels of religion or spiritualism about them. That was a sort of movement within the first generation of German physicists who founded quantum mechanics. I won't cover that here because it gets too detail-oriented and doesn't really cover the woo-woo aspect. If for some reason...
now?
Woo-woo. You've never heard of that term? It's the same thing as quackery, pseudoscience. It's woo-woo.
I'm sorry, the what?
The woo-woo.
Huh?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. It's breaking up.
It's what Sims do when you try and have a kid in the Sims games. It's woo-woo.
Do you have to take off your dye before you woo-woo?
Yeah, when I fell asleep, you touched me where?
On your woo-woo, and then I don't know.
He took off my dye and he touched my woo-woo.
I'm gonna touch your doo-doo now, Charlie. Hold on.
He touched my woo-woo before he paid attention to my doo-doo.
Anyway, if for some reason listeners wanted a science of philosophy episode, then I would probably have to find new co-hosts, because you too, and Courtney probably as well, would probably eat a 12-gauge sandwich. I thought hard about that.
Damn.
I don't have a recipe for that, so...
Would you want me to do a science of philosophy episode?
It's the spatter that matters.
My favorite Tricky album is Blowback.
It was the last thing to go through Kurt Cobain's mind.
Hashtag Trigger Toe.
That's a whole different episode. That's an idea, though.
That
It
is
is
like,
an idea.
well, since John is also fond of telling Asherisms on this show, one of the most glorious moments of my life was the first time I was going to get into the car with Asher, and he's like, Cobain. Like, what does that mean? He's like, it's the chair behind the shotgun.
Is this where you insert the trigger warning?
Indeed. Pun intended.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my goodness.
Anyway, the first real result comes from a website known as the EOC Institute. Let me read their pitch to you, see if you're interested.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that there is one intelligent consciousness that permeates the whole universe? And that this all-powerful, ever-present, omniscient force also exists within each of us, including you, looks at camera. Known
Is this
by...
George Lucas's, website that he just started?
Now replace all of the guns in E.T. with walkie-talkies.
Known by many names like the quantum mind, unified field theory, the all, God, universal consciousness, whatever you call it, It's no longer just a philosophical, unproven theory on the fringe of metaphysics. It's been scientifically proven. No source was cited. Can a regular person tap into the quantum field? If so, what happens when the super powerful force is accessed? Of course you can. Anyone can, considering each of us are part of the all. You just need to access the universal mind to a greater degree, which can change your life in many miraculous ways, such as super powerful ability to self-heal, feeling more connected to all living things, better memory and enhanced learning abilities, access to life solutions with a well-tuned, air quotes, life navigation system, super lucid clarity of thought, more success in all life endeavors, and many more universal benefits. You can kind of see where this is going. Yes.
Scientology.
Yes. No, actually, surprisingly not. After a bit more, there's a link that says, access the limitless benefits of meditation quickly, safely, and easily. Get started with, and then it lists the actual program to sign up for it.
Okay.
I didn't want to mention the program because I don't want copyright things or anything like that.
And we don't want to give anybody credibility.
Exactly. I also don't want to get contacted by people to ask if we want to sponsor them because they just heard that little clip and they don't hear anything else. So,
right. I mean, we are a powerhouse. So.
Yes, exactly. I've read that is kind of how some sponsors will reach out if you start talking about them before. So when we get popular, we can start talking about bidets and squatty potties again.
We're already popular.
When we
You're saying this like we haven't been screening these opportunities and haven't chosen one yet.
Sure, whatever helps you guys sleep at night.
Also,
Listen,
you said this was science, and I know that you just read that from a multi-level marketing essential oils website, and I just really need you to be more honest.
It wasn't an essential oils website. That's all I can say. I mean, it didn't look like it was a multi-level marketing. Because
Are you a
it
member
wasn't
now?
It's only 3 monthly payments of $29 for the digital download, or 3 monthly payments of $39 for the CD version.
Was this, the website that was established before they called it Goop?
The EOC? I guess EOC Institute, which already sounds really, really fancy, right?
EOC, that's that very popular senator that everybody is so over the moon
Yeah,
over
Ben
these
Shapiro's
days.
obsessed with her feet.
Mm-hmm. I would love a picture of her feet. I'd pay 3 monthly payments of $29 for the digital
Well,
version.
let's say that you did walk around with bare feet on the floor. Would you, perchance, ever just take a picture of your feet on the floor, on the bare floor?
Do you think that you could toe jam your way into her heart? Also, if you're down with the grand unified intelligence and you're really hep to it, resident favorite author on here, Philip K. Dick, that is the basis for my favorite book of his, The Three Stigmata of Palmer Eldritch. That there is a grand consciousness that is consuming the universe, essentially. And everybody is feeding into that system. And it is a very entertaining book. So if you get a wild hair, Michael, you might really enjoy it if you're, without reading material once you, fail another semester.
It's true. I will have a lot more free time for activities such as that.
Indeed.
Prove it.
Yes. So it was the word consume that really kind of hooked me there. It wasn't just, there's some super intelligence that pervades everything. No, it's consuming
assimilating
things.
other consciousnesses into itself.
I like that. So the next section is quantum meditation and quantum Buddhism. Yes, you heard what I said. So I spent a good part of yesterday searching for actual information on quantum mysticism or the quantum mind. And I swear there are hundreds of self-help courses on engaging your quantum mind like the one I just mentioned. There were also a lot of other articles for debunking quantum mysticism. So that was also not useful to what I was trying to search for. But I found something more interesting. I found a research paper titled Quantum Meditation, the Self-Spirit Projection, published at a Buddhist university in Chennai, India. Even better, since most research papers have keywords to help with search engines, I looked at those. The keywords were quantum mind, okay, quantum meditation, all right, quantum life, quantum brain, quantum psychology, and yes, quantum Buddhism, which I just thought was absolutely just beautiful. I'm going to read the abstract real quick.
Okay.
Skipping the lines, the sentences where they only use pure physics terms like a word salad. Interrupt me when you can't handle any more. I wrote
Michael?
pretend. I'm talking about the abstract.
Is that what you yell at your girlfriend when you're working on stuff in your office?
Interrupt me when you.
the abstract.
So I also wrote, pretend I'm giving backstory in a really bad sci-fi movie, because that's how I felt like when I was reading through this.
Can you go deeper?
All the time.
Yes, I can go deeper if you want me to.
Please.
The Michael Clark story.
Cucked by God. I could go deeper if you want me to. Meditation can be described by the self-spirit vector projection, which is a quantum phenomenon from which the inner product of spirit vectors is bound within Hilbert space by the unity. The spirit is a vector quantity, oscillates and invariant with the change in time. In this paper, the dark and bright spirit signals are modeled by the bright and dark soliton conversion pair, which is invariant with the change in time. I'm skipping a bit here because they just throw a bunch of physics terms in all like word salad.
So what
I'm
you're
not
saying
sure I'm following 100%.
is that a proton is an electron that's traveling back in time.
No, we're not talking about protons and electrons. We're talking
He
about
knows, Michael.
bright and dark soliton
It would be a
conversion
very
pairs.
interesting tenet to discuss, Michael.
Did I actually mention that in the heavy water episode? I don't know if I did or not. It seems like something I would mention when I was a worse host.
Blind kid stumbling around in the dark.
Huh? Where am I?
What year is it?
The cooling and aroma, parentheses, fragrant, sorry. That's how I felt. This was a fragrant,
Down in Fragrant Rock.
the cooling and aroma
buddy.
are smelly sensed regarding the energy conservation satisfaction law. In
Okay,
addition, that's what the sentence says. I
Please,
swear.
just get it out. Get it out.
It's
Come on,
one
hurry
more
up.
sentence. One more sentence. In addition, the Buddhist merit, philanthropy, is also described by the dark and bright spirit signals, which are represented by the crossed and self-spirit projection product values and obtained by the inner product.
So it is essential oils.
That research
So-
paper probably was, yes.
If I'm gauging this, the idea
Yes,
is
just decipher. Decipher. God damn it. Michael's fucking killing me.
Yes, Send your money now.
You are tapping into my quantum mind.
Oh, I hope not.
I want out.
I hate it. Yeah.
If there's anything I've wanted to tap less, I haven't found it yet.
Shane, can you help
Well,
me?
with 3 easy monthly payments of $39,
The
you can
closest
get out of it.
approximation that I can find is they're talking about things oscillating between the light and the dark relative to time. And this only just causes me to believe that it is the grand battle of the universe as described. In Star Wars terms, this is the description of the Force.
See
is
what I
that
was
it's
saying?
basically oscillating back and forth between the light and the dark as we go through time. And all of those thoughts are battling sort of back to control the overarching unity or the unified mind or consciousness. And
Of this all-consuming...
and
thing.
since we've thrown, the Buddhist tenet in there as well, that we're to be philanthropic is ludicrous, but you have to self-actualize that you are doing good for something other than yourself in order to be philanthropic. So you have to have, one, a sense that you are entitled to things, and then divorce yourself from that entitlement to get to the Buddhist tenet and sacrifice it. So consciousness is a requirement here. So there is some sort of semblance of coherency in here, but it's, as with most academic articles, they have just beat it to death with buzzwords.
Yeah, I didn't bother reading the actual paper.
I don't blame you.
I just read the abstract.
Just watch Star Wars. That's basically it. They've attempted to encapsulate what Lucas was talking about.
The Mandalorian season 2 is fantastic.
I couldn't agree more. I cried like a small child at the end of that.
I'm only on episode 1. I finished episode 1, and Timothy Oliphant was in it, and it made me happy.
This is the way.
I am sexually charged towards that man.
Did you know that he and Kevin Smith don't get along?
That's very sad.
He has a whole lengthy tale about them filming Catch and Release, where apparently Oliphant is very condescending and does not appreciate that Kevin thought he was the funny guy on set, and so he refers to him as Timothy Olyphantastic. Which I really actually like as a term. But no, I love Timothy Oliphant as an actor, and so I was also very tickled where I'm like, they recast him as Boba Fett? And then eventually you bleed into the story. Spoilers,
right.
But yeah.
Right. Well, yeah, mild spoilers. It's been out enough. It's episode 1. I don't think that's really
No, I don't think we're going to ruin anybody's life. Yeah.
No one spoil that for me, or I will find you and I will kiss
you haven't seen it yet?
Butthole. Not the rest of it.
Oh, okay. Well,
I have the rest of the season to go. I finished 1 last night.
Okay. Well, it's marvelous, and I hope you enjoy it. And I'm not going to let Michael get back to his episode. I'm commandeering it going forward. We're just going to talk about Star Wars.
Look at me.
That's totally
I am
fine.
Captain now.
And I also went tangential to a Star Wars conversation to talk about Kevin Smith in a Star Wars conversation. Yeah. So we have gone exponentially deep into Star Wars.
Deeper than your voice can get.
That's a lie.
I can go deeper if you want me to.
Hold on a second, let me get
I want to see how many times I can just use that line just a response.
When Destiny finally gets to this episode, she's going to be laughing because she's going to be like, you can't go deeper. There's not enough pee-pee for that maneuver.
You dumb bitch. You can't go deeper.
Michael, it is your first t-shirt.
I can go deeper if you want me to.
Heil, Cumslinger.
Thank you.
Can we get almost like a polo of that with a pocket, like a breast pocket that says Heil Cumslinger on it?
It's pronounced pollo.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that you wouldn't get any weird looks wearing that around. And if that was the first merchandising option, for sure that would be the first one that comes to mind. So
I have a feeling we would sell tons of them, though, just for people who were tickled by the phrase and had no idea where it came from.
Let me pose this, and then Michael can get back to whatever boring thing he was talking about and I was tuning out. The world has moved on back to normal. Mm-hmm. Not moved on like King, but, moved on. And it is. That means all of our favorite things are happening again. Live music is back. We're going to local shows. Fan cons are happening again, so we get to go do our panels. But also, the Adult Film Awards are happening, and adult conventions are happening. And we just so happen to have Cumslinger shirts. Would you guys double down and try and, get sponsored by a fuck picture actor or actress and have them, wear our Cumslinger shirt?
Why not?
You're acting as though I haven't already attempted this. After we did once the Tory Lane conversation happened on this podcast, I did reach out to her people to see if I could get her to join. Just to
not
come
on the episode in any way, shape, or form,
to come
but just
on
to join
the podcast,
and hopefully your face.
And I used that phrase very intentionally.
He comes precisely when he means to.
Anyway, if we were able to sponsor somebody in the adult industry, would your wife allow you to be involved?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yes.
Okay.
That's all there is to it. Yes.
Okay. Your eyes did roll up into the ceiling for a moment in contemplation. Quietly.
Oh, I was having a seizure.
Are
you still my friend?
I am, in fact. Are there any horses around? Because I may need
sex worker, please.
I thought I was in the waiting room. What does a horse has? Michael, please continue with the bizarre word
That's
salad.
The most offended I've seen Courtney look since she's joined, and it's great.
She's like, what
she thought we were semi-decent bad people, but she's finding out that we're just really normal bad people.
Okay, so now we've learned that John invited Courtney to be a co-host as a means of torture porn.
We're really on. Oh, we haven't talked about porn in so long.
You went
Melissa,
down this hole,
you're welcome.
friend. Yes.
Melissa, you're welcome. We abstained for as long as we could.
Apologies, my
I
love.
was going to say, talking about porn is so season 1, but not anymore. Not anymore. I want to end on this particular... I want to end the episode with this...
Can I finish? Can I finish?
I'm going to say, yeah, me too.
Hey, Michael, I'm going to let you finish, but...
I want to...
Beyonce should have hosted this episode. That's all I'm saying.
If only.
I love that you committed.
I'm going to talk about
All the single ladies. Stay the fuck away from Michael. You don't know where he's been, Lou.
I don't know where I've been. Where
Daddy
am I?
who's not my daddy.
What year is it?
Kill me, daddy. It's not my daddy.
It's... I want to talk about another quantum... Sorry, I'm all out of sorts. Okay,
Just take it from one.
I'm all out of sorts.
The last thing I want to talk
can't
about...
pronounce words now. My name is Michael. I bored you to tears. Ha!
I like how Shane pantomimed locking his lips shut and then couldn't resist the song.
Yeah.
So this particular self-help quantum meditation website that I found is probably the most American self-help I've ever seen. The top of the website page reads, "Health and healing administered to you 24/7. What if you could boost your health and wellness passively 24 hours a day, 7 days a week while you are eating, sleeping, or watching TV?" That's the question. Then it has a link to start your free trial with a line beneath that says, "No credit card required." The website has 3 simple steps. First, you sign up for a free trial. Second, you upload a photograph of yourself. Apparently, the photo of your face contains a unique scalar light signature. Now, what that is, I will explain in a moment. This can be used to...
Somebody with a computer uses Photoshop, depending on how much money you spend.
Yes. This can be used to transmit and deliver scalar light energy to you. Then, finally, the third step, the unique... Wow. I got distracted because I saw Shane distracted me there. Okay. Finally, the unique scalar light instrument will transmit powerful scalar... He turned off his
Shane
camera.
turned off his camera, so now it's just his work profile
It's his
picture,
mugshot.
which is super handsome, I might add.
Oh, thank you.
How many colors of that hat do you own, Shane?
At least
All.
12. You do have to match with the outfit.
Okay.
That is true.
And I refuse to be limited in my light spectrum.
The powerful scalar light energy spectrum.
Indeed.
So, the
It's actually way
instrument...
effective just having your talking head.
The...
Hey, how about you go fuck yourself, buddy?
This would be a lot more funny if the listeners could see.
Shut your fucking face, Uncle Fucker. You're a bone-biting bastard, Johnny Fucker.
This is now turned into a game show of fuck you, Michael, you're not going to finish this topic.
I mean, it usually does. It honestly, and I have no problem with that.
Fuck you, I won't go away. We fucked this topic yesterday.
Anyway, so the instrument will transmit powerful scalar light energy and administer scalar energy to you. Wherever you are in the world, scalar energy will reach you. How is this possible, you may ask? Well, they got you covered. Via quantum long-distance healing that comes from our sun and all the stars in the universe. An energy outside our electromagnetic spectrum known in silence as scalar light. Scalar and light are both capitalized.
Mm-hmm.
This is nothing new. Scalar energy was discovered and studied by Nikola Tesla and other great scientists of old, who they don't name, but the way to harness this energy and direct it to you is a modern marvel and available now. No credit card required.
America! Fuck yeah!
Get better without doing a jack shit.
Oh, Trump supporter.
Stop the seal.
Seal?
Stop the seal?
I guess I must have cut out there. I swear I thought I saw... no, I... I said
God,
I don't know.
just
anything.
kill it.
I love that.
I'm
I
done.
love that he's blacking
I'm done.
out. So
No,
what's the?
so
we
we're
missed
good.
one lie.
Yes.
No, what the hell is the point of this website?
Oh yeah, fair
To
question.
get you to sign up.
What are they
For
sending
what?
you?
Scalar energy
They're sending you
How?
a little vial
with the scalar
of
instrument.
light, milky
What is the
substance.
instrument?
It's a unique scalar light instrument.
You
that
didn't
focuses-
buy this, and you brought it to us to present nothing.
The limit does
Well,
not
how do
exist.
you know I didn't? You don't
didn't.
get anything in the mail. They literally just send you the light energy. Scalar light energy, sorry.
So, Courtney,
Yes.
this is your first time being here live in the room when he covers anything science related.
Oh my goodness.
Up until this point, you've just had, the disfortune of being a listener to it. Being in the room as it happens, how do you feel?
Well, two things, John. One, I don't know what we're talking about, and so when Jonah gets home, he'll be like, "What did you guys record about today?" I'll be like, "I don't have a fucking clue." And then
Thank you for being my counterpoint
two,
on this. Yes.
I've been too distracted by Michael's whiteboard in the background where it looks like he's written different descriptions for his penis. It says like short, long, and other, and so I just
It's vowel sounds. Vowel sounds, short vowel sounds, long
So
vowel
you're,
sounds.
you're vowel sounding in your free time.
Yes.
John's very
Obviously.
aroused.
I am. Shove those vowels right down your pee hole.
Mm-hmm.
Vowels in your bowels.
And there are different lengths that. Never mind.
Because you.
I was gonna deliver some.
Courtney.
Nah.
You saying your first point is why originally I started having Michael try and do the elevator pitch game like earlier on in the show, and it's since gone away. But anytime he does sciencey things, I feel like I do like that's why Shane's asking these questions. What the fuck is the point of the website? I don't think I comprehended. I mean, I comprehended the light versus dark, but I don't think we actually hit like what the fuck.
So this thing is purporting that they can send to you, just sheerly through the upload of your picture, energy that is going to make your PP energy bigger and better.
Yes.
Everything about your life is going to be immediately enhanced, quantized, digitized, and then pasteurized for your consumption for just whatever they're charging monthly, and they will send it just to your picture because your likeness is the perfect representation for them to channel that energy to you.
Exactly. Yeah, he got it.
but
Oh, God.
But what does that have to do with everything else you said prior?
So I can do a quick elevator pitch. So the whole idea is that when you get people that try to understand something that you need a degree to really understand, quantum mechanics, I can tell you I still don't really understand it because it's such an alien concept that it's hard for us people living in the big world to understand the small world.
Okay.
Macroscopic world is different than the microscopic.
So essentially,
nanoscopic,
people
whatever.
that are not
But
qualified to talk on things are talking about things and trying to use it for profit.
yes,
And
that's
it's just as silly as it fucking sounds.
exactly, and that's kind of like the whole gist that I was trying to get across is that when you throw in, because this has a lot to do with throwing the word quantum behind things, it's supposed to make it sound more sophisticated, more fancy, more scientific when it honestly isn't. So it's almost like a whole episode based off of that joke that you would always make, John.
Can you name this episode Quantum Podcastery?
Okay.
But I have a very important question for clarification,
Okay.
and John's going to appreciate that I asked this.
Please.
What the hell does this have to do with the city that we have discovered in the lane retrieval lane of Lane 5 at the
True.
Desert Alley Sunflower Bowling and Arcade Fun Complex?
Very, very fucking good question.
Quantum Buddhism
Thanks, Cecil.
has everything to do with it.
They're coming to take over our town, Michael.
The quantum Buddhists?
We have to fight the revolt.
I can't believe we haven't recommended that show to Courtney yet. Consider this officially recommended.
Which show?
Welcome to Night Vale.
Okay.
You're about to lose your mind. So
Have some fun. It's a nice fictional
it's
podcast.
so marvelous.
It's what
Anywho,
got me into podcasts to begin with because of Shane. So
Michael, continue your glorious explanation.
So the last lie was, the explanation. But yeah, no, that's like, honestly, the whole idea was that
yep.
you tag on quantum to something, it makes it sound a lot more fancy, and then you can use the idea that people don't understand this shit, you can sell, we'll make you a better person because everything is... There was one person that I wanted to try and include on the podcast. He's a big name within the quantum mysticism. His name is, I'm going to butcher it because it's Indian, Deepak Chopra.
Deepak Chopra.
Thank you.
I've read one of his
I was
books. It's
close.
actually pretty interesting.
Yes. I wanted to try and include him on there. Oh, stop.
You made him sound like a snack pack.
Deepak Chopin. Chopani, there we go. Deepak Chopani.
I ordered the snack pack Chopra.
But I could not put him in an episode where it would have been at all interesting because he's very wordy.
You're presenting it?
No, it's you can't really summarize his works because he includes a lot of information, and a lot of it, if you read the bite-sized pieces, it makes sense. It's only when you look at the overarching picture of what he's trying to say that, like, you can use meditation through quantum mechanics to reverse aging and stuff like that. That is one of his things, where you can reverse aging by using the type of meditation that he talks about, which deals with quantum mechanics.
Is that the shotgun sandwich?
Yes, sure. It blew right past me. But that's why I didn't include him, because it would have just completely killed any sort of flow this episode would have had, because I couldn't...
Oh, yeah, I was really worried about the flow the entire time.
Yeah. Well, it would have done it faster.
I'm going to call my doctor today to get Flomax to help your flow get better for this podcast.
I honestly thought that this was going to be closer to a urine therapy episode, but it turned out it was closer to...
Well,
heavy water.
Allow me to unbust your balls.
It wasn't that bad,
for
Michael.
5 seconds.
Okay.
We are operating in extenuating circumstances presently.
That's
and
fair.
putting any sort of coherent thought together is a Herculean task in the present context. And so I understand. I appreciate what you've tried to do here. And I like that you were so excited by something that tangentially related to multiple episodes that we have already had. We just did not manage to encapsulate those things in any way other than a tertiary reference. And that's fine.
Do you want to get the last lie out there?
The last lie was kind of bullshit. So they weren't from a Buddhist university in India.
I stink, therefore I yam.
It was 2 different universities in Bangkok, Thailand. I didn't even bother writing them down because I knew I wouldn't be
Man,
able
you
to
missed the
pronounce them.
opportunity to throw Bangkok into an episode.
And you didn't take it.
I feel like I wouldn't. It wouldn't have delivered. It wouldn't have delivered. It would have fallen flat. I swear. The only thing that got a chuckle was the 12-gauge sandwich, and
The 12-gauge sandwich was very good.
Yes.
because I was just like, if I
Do
have to
more
present,
of that.
so I guess I can threaten to present future topics and then just make references that you guys would rather die than listen to Philosophy of Science episode.
I think that's how to write.
Just assume that whatever I talk about, you guys are gonna. Well, on the next subject, you guys are gonna probably just eat another lead bullet.
Here's
but-
the next nail biter while you wait for the electric current to take into your bath.
There you go. There you go.
A lead bullet.
You have
as
to play
opposed
to your
a-
audience, Michael.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Speaking of playing to your audience, Courtney, you're working on another topic for us, aren't you?
Yes, I have now watched a movie twice in 1 week, and it's the best movie of my life.
What's the movie?
It's called Velocipaster, and it
Now,
encompasses
sorry.
everything that I enjoy in life.
So you're taking a page out of like Shane and I's book, where Shane started it with Deathbed, I followed it up with Thanksgilling, and now we're going to get Velocipaster.
So far,
Okay.
my favorite quote from the movie as of this moment is, "I had parents once."
So did Bruce Wayne.
So in that case, then, to be the fourth person, to follow in this, I can do the Birdemic, if any of you guys have seen that movie.
Fantastic.
Cool.
Do Birdemic. I think
Sweet.
that's a nice little arc. You know, if Courtney's ready with Velocipaster soon, and then you want to follow it up with Birdemic, we'll have a nice little film corner to round out the month.
Who is Bert Demick?
Bart? Who's Bart Demick?
It's a biopic featuring Burt Reynolds.
Who is
He's dead.
Jumanji?
Jumanji? Judaman,
Oh,
dog.
well, they featured him on last podcast on the left, you see. They have a whole episode where they talk about the Judah Jumanji, and your manji can be harvested from a grain that they grow in Nepal, and it's only on a very particular cliffside that you can pull this, and then once you harvest it, you put it into your ball sack and fuck yourself.
Speaking of,
That
Michael,
escalated real quick.
I think that was him chastising me for referencing another podcast on the show.
Dude, I just talked about Night Vale, so no, I don't have a problem with that.
I'm fucking with you.
Enjoying busting your balls.
Would you guys, I know Shane knows probably more, if not just as much. Would you guys be interested in an episode where we talk about the Kurt Cobain conspiracy?
Yeah.
The conspiracy
Sure, I'm
revolving
down for
around
it.
his death?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
I'll start
totally.
working on it. No guarantees on when it'll be delivered, but should be a month away at most.
Cool. So we'll expect that sometime next year.
Yeah, it'll be my Halloween episode.
It'll be sometime between March and my death. In April.
April. Oh fuck.
Okay,
All right,
well, I appreciate you diving into the depths of mysticism with us, as always, Michael. The grand convergence from Jim Henson is headed our way, and Augur will tell us all about it later on.
It's all auger now.
Bushy, bushy, bushy. Looks like Gelfling, smells like Gelfling. Must be Gelfling. Mm-hmm. Well, ladies and germaphobes, as always, we are elated to have you with us in spite of the fact that reality has finally caught fire and is crawling, inching towards us. And we sit on top of a very large incendiary device known as collective consciousness. We're just waiting for the combustion to occur in earnest.
Yes.
Know what I mean, Bern?
I know what you mean, Bart.
All right. Well, thank you all for being here. And we're going to have very interesting material flying your way in the future, not the least of which being what we do on our newly established and revitalized social networks, which I'm not sure that I'm going to, sufficiently plug. But you can now invest a little more energy and effort into perusing our Instagram because Courtney is going to take it over and make our Instagram great again.
She gonna do it. She gonna done did it.
Got it.
Oh,
What?
Make Instagram great again.
nigga, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, Michael, you now get to censor yourself.
Oh. What is that?
And I would like to formally resign. I have nothing to do with this podcast, nor does it reflect my personal views.
Your mom's still gonna hear
It
it.
doesn't matter what the abbreviation is. It's that how you pronounce things with your fucked up speech impediment makes it sound like you're using a slur. So we're not going to include it in the podcast. Congratulations. Have fun editing yourself.
I have a rare bone disease that doesn't allow me to say the A in
And just
Sácamelo, voy a vomitar. Get it out of me, I am gonna throw up.
Thank you for that. So, if we haven't completely just driven you all away yet, you can find us on Instagram at Disinformed Podcast, on Facebook.com/Disinformed Podcast, and on the Twitter at Disinformed Pod. And also every single wacky Wednesday we bring you a fabulous fan fiction where we are currently reading The Hogwarts School of Prayer and Miraculous, and it has been absolutely engrossing and so much fun if you don't like women.
Yay!
And of course, on Fantastic Fridays, you can find us doing Disinformed After Dark, where we decompress from these episodes in a visual fashion for the tubes of you. And dear God, are we going to have all our work cut out for us this evening?
for sure.
Yes. I don't know how mystical I can get. Whew. And of course, every marvelous Monday you can find us back here, wherever your preferred podcasts flee from, for the Disinformed podcast. I am Shane.
I'm John.
I'm Michael.
And Courtney.
If you dig what we do, we hope that you enjoy your shotgun sandwich, motherfuckers. So long, and good night, sweet prince.
So long, and we'll say goodnight. I'm Kurt Cobain. I didn't die nice.
Die nice? Dionysian? Is this a fake?